Want to be able to enjoy that Thanksgiving dinner but still be able to button up those jeans? Well, you're in the right place. Hey guys, Izzy here and welcome back to my Sugar Balance Living series. Today I want to talk a little bit about how you can prevent that awful belly bloat that comes after eating a little bit too much or increasing your sugar intake during that amazing Thanksgiving meal. Indulging without going completely overboard can seem impossible to many of us, especially since Thanksgiving dinner is the biggest dinner of the entire year, unless you count Christmas, of course. But it turns out that you can have the most indulgent fun without feeling comatose and seriously bloated for the following 24 hours. I've put together 12 of my best tips and tricks for preventing overeating, bloating, and uncomfortable stomach distension, because I couldn't tell you how many times I've been through those myself and they are not fun, like at all. I used to go and cook up a storm with my family and then gobble up the plate as soon as it arrived at the table. And as fun as it was in the moment, it would leave me miserable on the couch with like a horrible mental state, a big bloated stomach, and the dread that I'd put on more than a stone of weight in one sitting. To make matters worse, my mind would then go and tell me, oh, you have to go back and get more seconds because they're going to be gone out of fear of missing out, even though my stomach was telling me like a solid nuh-uh. Maybe this sounds a little bit uncomfortably familiar to you. Well, what I was truly missing out on was the fun with my family, gossiping, playing board games, dancing around in the kitchen to music while we cleaned up. Belly bloat is basically your body's way of saying you went too far, you ate something I don't agree with, you ate that too quickly, or you fasted all day and then smacked me in the face with this huge indulgent meal. If you're experiencing belly bloat, the odds are that you'll recognize at least one of these reasons. The bloat itself can last up to 24 hours and mess with your mental state for even longer. Things like, I'm fat, what have I done, and I look gross will start popping into your head, which can put a little bit of a damper on that Black Friday and holiday weekend fun. So the game plan I've put together is set up to prevent the bloating before it happens. But if the damage is already done and you don't want to be asked when your due date is, these easy tips will help you recover fast and save you from lingering side effects. Plus, the best part is you're not going to be deprived of food or have to swap out everything you love. What we're working on is simply lightening things up, staying balanced, and making some pretty sweet decisions. If you think this is a fabulous plan, don't forget to write #no deprivation in the comments. So, as always, let's do this. Step number 1, go in with a game plan. The first key step you need to take is to mentally prepare for what you actually want to eat. There's going to be a large assortment of seasonal yummies and food that you've missed all year long around those Thanksgiving spreads. And so this can be exciting and intimidating. I don't like to go into food panic and start grabbing every single thing I see. Instead, have a strategy and really narrow down on 4 or 5 different food items that you really want to eat. Don't go filling up your plate with like every single thing that looks good, because I guarantee you every single food will look good. So step 2, fill up beforehand. Saving calories for roast potatoes and pie, not the best idea. Don't even consider skipping breakfast. Many people have the mindset that they need to save room for dinner or save up calories for turkey and stuffing, but this is really the last thing that you want to do. First of all, you'll completely overeat because by the time dinner is ready, you'll be starving. And second of all, you'll start to justify eating more because you'll be thinking about all those calories that you saved at breakfast time. Now, I'm not saying that you should go ahead and load up on French toast, scrambled eggs, and bacon. It is crucial that you eat the right foods now before you eat the wrong foods later, and try not to eat anything with sugar because it will spike your blood sugar levels in the morning. So try sipping on some tea or a sugar-free pumpkin spice latte. I actually have a recipe, so you can find the link for that in the description. And choose a sugar-free, fiber-rich, protein-packed breakfast meal that will keep you full. So think overnight oats. I actually have a sugar-free chocolate version in the description you can check out. Sugar-free oatmeals in general, eggs, or even a protein smoothie. Step number 3, focus on the company. Try focusing on the people and the conversation around you instead of just the food in front of you. Talk, catch up with your cousin, and gossip away, because who doesn't like gossiping? Plus, eating slower means that you'll suck in less air, which means less bloating. Step number 4, don't overdo the water or drinks. I always like to say to people, like, drink tons of water, and that's great advice, but when you chug down liquids, you're diluting the digestive enzymes in your stomach that your body needs, especially when trying to digest a giant meal like on Thanksgiving. Plus, many Thanksgiving dishes are loaded with sodium, which makes your body hang on to excess water, leaving your stomach feeling distended and bloated. But at the same time, drinking lots of H2O after a meal will help flush out the sodium and shrink that bloat. Hold up a sec, didn't I just say that you should cut back on water? Well, It's about balance. I'm not saying you should drink water, but what I am saying here is to drink water at the right times. So here's what you should do. Drink plenty of water 30 minutes before the meal. Sip only a small bit during the meal and then wait around 45 minutes after the meal to chug down liquids again. Step number 5, stand up straight and don't slouch. This is something I'm super guilty of and that you might be able to relate to yourself. You eat a giant meal and you sink onto the sofa, relax your stomach, and then slip into that food coma for the next week. Unfortunately, this is the last thing you should do after eating a giant meal. You should be getting up and burning off some of those calories to take the pressure off your stomach and to stimulate your digestive system. This will reduce the fullness, bloating, and get rid of some of the sluggishness, which will help you better enjoy the rest of your holiday. As a little bonus, the movement will help flush out that high amount of salt that you ate. Even a 15-minute walk or throwing a football in the garden will help. Keep this momentum going into the next morning for the best result and head outside after you wake up, which brings me to my next step. Step number 6, don't skip your breakfast the next day. We're now halfway through the steps, so if you're liking these tips and tricks, go ahead and hit the like button on this video. So when you're feeling terrible and bloated the next day, the best thing you can do is to resume your healthy eating routine right away, especially at breakfast time. Don't go skipping food because of calories. Having a well-balanced breakfast that's filling and energizing, and drinking plenty of H2O will help your body recover and keep your blood sugar levels stable. Eat foods high in protein, a small portion of complex carbohydrates, and a small amount of fats, like having some eggs and oatmeal. For an added bonus to help with bloating, try eating some potassium-rich foods, which will help prompt excess fluids to exit your system, like bananas, oranges, pistachios, and avocados. Step number 7, drink hot tea. Try incorporating some hot tea before your Thanksgiving and after your Thanksgiving meal, especially if your Thanksgiving feast has been leaving you a little bit nauseous. The tea will help relax the muscles in your GI tract, alleviating the gas causing your bloating. Step number 8, eat high fiber. Start your Thanksgiving meal off with greens. Most likely there'll be some sort of salad or roasted vegetable option for you to have, for you to load up on before diving into the heavier, less healthy side of the meal. So the fiber and the vegetables will help fill you up, which should help you avoid overeating throughout the rest of your dinner. So if you want that bloated belly bowl to dissipate faster, fiber-packed foods are the name of the game. Not to get a little bit gritty on you, but digestion is an incredibly energy-intensive process, and it can take hours and hours for food to pass through. Lighter foods such as vegetables move through faster, but dense foods like turkey and bread rolls can take a whole 24 to 72 hours before they're fully eliminated from your system, this way. That slow movement is what can cause the sluggishness you feel the next day. So portion out your plate appropriately with a large portion of veggies like green beans, which are really good for digestion. Use about half of that leftover space for turkey, and then lastly use any leftover space for starchy foods like potatoes and bread rolls. This is unlikely to happen because it's hard to overeat high fiber foods. They're very filling. But just in case, be a little bit wary of the fact that fiber can cause even more bloating if you overeat too much of it. Step number 9, give your belly a breather. Don't be tempted to overeat if you're not actually hungry. Being surrounded by leftover foods can be really tempting, especially if you're being edged on for seconds by relatives and family members. But if you are full, you are full. The worst thing you can do is continue to eat. Just remember that that cheesecake will be there in the fridge tomorrow when your stomach's feeling better, and you can go and have a slice then. Step number 10, improve the way you eat. It's not just about your plate size, but also in your eating technique. One of the biggest causes of bloat is not just the sheer heaviness of what you eat at Thanksgiving dinner, but it's how certain foods you eat together digest better with each other. It's simple. The simpler the meal, the better it will digest. Your beautiful body can better break down, take in, and release foods with fewer items than complex meals with many different ingredients. Thanksgiving dinner is exactly what we call a complex and heavy meal. It has slow digesting proteins mixed in with a myriad of fats and oils, starches like stuffing, and then it's topped off with desserts floating through your pipeline with loads of refined sugar and bad fats. This equals a traffic jam in your intestinal road, or a digestive disaster, so to speak. Obviously this can be hard to avoid. It's Thanksgiving after all, but I do suggest that you try to give your stomach some time to catch up by eating smaller portions at a time and taking mini breaks, and also slowing down your pace. You'll be able to enjoy the food more without the constant shoveling, and since your mouth won't be constantly packed, you'll be able to do some of that fab gossiping that I was talking about earlier on. Oh, and you look super polite. As a little bonus, make sure to chew with your mouth closed to help with the bloat. Step number 11, drink smart. Skip the bubbly beverages and limit the booze like vodka, beer, alcohol, cocktails, and wine, as these drinks are seriously not the most digestive friendly beverages and can contribute to gas and bloating, especially the beer. So maybe stick to only a glass or two of booze this season. Step number 12, last but not least, simplify what you eat. You're probably wondering a little bit what I mean by this. Well, stay simple and stick to homemade foods. Don't go stressing about dieting and buying some sugar-free pie with a wacky ingredient list, because synthetic sugars, particularly those made from sugar alcohols like mannitol, xylitol, and sorbitol, are not well digested in your intestines and it can attract a lot of bacteria to ferment them. That fermentation brings upon gas bubbles, which can create bloating. Sugar is hard to digest, but not as much as weird artificial sweeteners. If you like to cook, then I'm happy for you to make a healthier version of your favorite treat. Just make sure you don't feel deprived. If you feel like you're going to be disappointed, you're better off moderating your normal favorite food. Actually, done a whole video on how to plan a low sugar or sugar-free Thanksgiving where I cover this in a lot more detail. You can watch it using the end screen or check out the link in the description below. Final note, remember that you don't need to pass on pie to prevent bloating caused by sugar or food in general. I would like you to keep moderation in mind, but just most importantly, don't stress. Stress is not helpful and it can actually lead to further indigestion and bloating. Go ahead and create your game plan and stick to it, but if you slip up, then let it go. Be grateful for the food, your family, and friends. Letting go will release you and actually help ensure that you feel much better the next day. Thanksgiving is one glorious day to enjoy yourself, so go for it, but just do so with a plan. Okay, so that's how you can beat the bloating at your Thanksgiving dinner. If you liked any of these tips, or any of these tips more specifically, go ahead and let me know which one you like the best in the comments below. You can take some of these hacks and incorporate them into your holiday meal plan to help prevent and then reduce any unwanted tightening around the waist in your jeans. If you liked this video and plan to incorporate any of the tips to help prevent bloating, go ahead and give me this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already and leave a comment if you have any thoughts or questions about sugar-free, sugar-balanced Thanksgivings. I always read every single comment because one thing I'm grateful for this Thanksgiving is you guys. If you're struggling with food or sugar cravings and would like a little bit of help, please do check out my totally free Sugar Balance and Wellness Challenge. It's 5 days of simple, actionable, and I dare say fun steps for creating a total mind and body wellness and reducing any food cravings you may have without restriction so that you can still enjoy the holiday foods you love while still feeling your healthiest self. When you join, you'll get free workbooks, a recipe and shopping guide, as well as daily journaling prompt and my beginner's guide to journaling. You get access to my free Facebook support group with live trainings, Q&As with yours truly. And if that isn't enough, you get a free 6th bonus day. What are you waiting for? Go ahead and join by clicking the link in the description below. Oh, and don't forget to check out my Sugar Balance Living Series playlist to learn more awesome advice, tips, and facts about sugar balance and beating sugar addiction that can help you keep on creating your healthiest, most balanced, and most importantly, happiest life. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you later.